Our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yehoshai, Bahashem, Harakah, Quadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth, and salutes to all the sincere elect out there. We are back at you with another lesson in the time of Jacob's trouble, agents and sellouts. So yeah, man, just the Terence Crawford on this podcast, the Joe Rogan show, and he's now officially retired. But Joe Rogan be asking him some good questions, and Terence Crawford ain't holding no punches, pun intended. But yeah, interesting interview. So let's check it out without further ado. I'm gonna let you hear the audio, and as we do, funnel everything through the scriptures. Yes, so yeah, you get the idea that the Terence Crawford ain't holding no punches, which he is a little bit being a bit diplomatic. I believe he's been watching the videos, and yeah, let's check out the video.
So what is your plans now? Now that you're on top of the world,
man, I just
you did it. What does it feel like?
I feel, man, like it's supposed to.
Like it's supposed to.
I feel like it's supposed to. Like a lot of people, they ask me, they say, "Man, how I feel? Like, how's the retire life?" I'm like, the same. Like nothing in my life has changed, but the people everywhere else congratulating me and things like that. But like, as far as like my living, aspect of my life is it's the same. Like when I'm fighting, training, I'm focused on the fight. But after that, it's like my kids, the gym, things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have any interest in doing commentary at all? Because I think you would be great at that.
I be chilling. I don't be liking to be in the media talking and all that.
But you don't even have to be in the
media.
I'll
be avoiding the media. I be avoiding. You know how like some people, like they want to be all up in the limelight and things like that, and
yeah,
I be avoiding. They be like, "Terence, can we get in here?" Nah, right now I don't want to talk.
Yeah, Well, I appreciate you coming in here, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. But a lot of people ask me that. Do you want to be like all the other fighters and be a commentary? Nah.
Good for you.
I'll be cool.
Good for you. That's gonna help you so much. It's going to help you so much because it's the people that crave that limelight. When it all goes away, then they're like, well, who am I? I thought I was special.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the guy when, he's here.
Yeah.
They want to be constantly in the limelight, showing up at red carpets, all that. I avoid all that shit too. I don't want to have nothing to do with that.
I know who I am, internally, so can't nobody, tell me who Terence Crawford is. So I'm happy in my own skin, always been happy in my own skin, and I believe that's how I got to the point where I'm at now. When nobody believed in me, I didn't listen to them because I knew who I was all along. When people told me I was a bad businessman, okay, look at me now. When people told me what I should have did, what I shouldn't have done, and I did what I wanted to do, look at me now. So now it's like, everybody like, man, this dude knew all along. It's like, yeah, because I'm not a follower. I'm not going to listen to people that has never done anything in their life and never took no chances or no risks to tell me what I can and what I can't do. So I'm happy in my own skin. I'm happy, whether they chant my name or whether they not. As long as my family love me and my family there and they good, they well taken care of, then that's the only thing that makes me happy.
That's beautiful. I hope young fighters that are inspired by you take that example. I hope they take that mindset and try to adopt it as their own. I really do. I really do, because there's so many young fighters that just can't wait to be that person in the limelight, can't wait to be that person living flashy in front of everybody. And it's a foolish adventure.
It's temporary.
It's temporary.
And they don't understand that. Like, they only chant your name for a moment. It's very temporary. you know, and they'll turn on you in a heartbeat. You know, just do something crazy or lose a match that you don't supposed to lose, or be up against one of your rivals and you lose, and then everybody gonna turn it back on you.
100%.
You know, and you're gonna be sitting there lost. Look at Broner. When he was at the top of the top, everybody was there.
Yep.
He had everybody in this corner. Now he at his lowest. Now they making fun of him. Now they taking pictures.
Especially this bit he didn't say, but especially if you are black. That bit I said, especially if you are black. But there's a lot of things he'd be saying in the whole of this video, interview. It's over an hour long, but some things he'd be saying, it's actually from the scriptures. Let's hear some more.
And you know, I hit.
He makes fun of himself too, though.
Yeah, he do, but he's suffering.
Yes.
You know, and I hit him up and I try to encourage him, and I send him messages, and you know, and you got to be there for people when they're at their lowest.
That's great. He was a very talented guy, but again, that's what you said. Like, he's a guy who really got caught up in it.
Mm-hmm. That's a perfect example.
What's Gervonta doing now?
So,
I don't know.
Is he on the run?
I don't know.
Right. So some good questions, but especially if you're black, or especially if you're a Judite. We saw what happened to Adrian Broner when he lost against the Southern Tribe dude, and they booed him out of the ring. He wanted to be the young Floyd Mayweather, to be hated, and you be hated, but you can't lose. If you're going to play the bad guy in boxing, you can't lose. But he makes some interesting points here. Terence Crawford, the former 168 world champion, is now retired. On the Pivot podcast, or the Povit podcast, he was interviewed. They was offering him. They said if he was offered a certain amount of money, he would return, but he refused. And the title of the video, I done a video on it, is Terence Crawford keeps his integrity, doesn't want to sell his soul. Which and he said that well, now I know your character. The guy who was interviewing him, he said everything for sale. He said no, not everything for sale, not my soul. But in so many words. But he also said a lot of other things as far as they want, if you're a black fighter, and it doesn't only apply to boxing, it applies to life, boxing and a lot of other sports. If you're a black fighter, a black boxer, they want you to shuck and jive and act the fool. And mainly it's to Judites. Mainly it's to the so-called black boxers. And Joe Rogan was agreeing for the most part on a lot of things. But you get the sense of, with Terence Crawford, and I do hope he stands his ground and doesn't come back, doesn't get lured back, just like Floyd Mayweather's being lured back into the boxing ring, because that's what he knows. And a lot of those we call those ex-entertainment fights, them you call them with Joe Rogan, exhibition fights he's been doing, and for the money, because that's what he knows, and that's what he's going to continue to do until maybe one day he gets knocked out. That's what they're hoping, right? That's what they're always hoping. They want to destroy a man's legacy in boxing, especially if you're a so-called black person. But let's hit the scriptures, because a lot of the things he say that do be coming from the scriptures, and I wonder if Terence Bud Crawford be watching the videos. It sounds like it, you know, as far as watching GMS videos or any so-called Hebrew Israelite videos. It sounds like it. So let's hit a couple of precepts. Quick hit a video, but just want to make the point that boxing actually came from slavery. When we was on the cotton field, that's what they made us do. Pitching two black people together, and whoever wins, whoever knocks 7 belts out of his brother, could be your own tribe, it could be another tribe, you get your freedom. So it's always been a barbaric sport, a game of exploiting, a game of politics, and then it went into the mafia, who controlled boxing. The mafia controlled boxing when you get into the political side of it. So he's retired, and it seems like he's happily retired, and may stay out of it. And he says he doesn't want the limelight. He's not an adrenaline junkie like a lot of them are. When they're retired, they get restless. They become adrenaline junkies, because boxing is a very egotistical sport. and you get a very good high, especially when you win. But let's hit the precepts, because where I come from, the East End, originally the East End, that's what a lot of people do to get out of the ghetto, so to speak. And I'm pretty sure it's the same over there in certain parts of America. If you can fight your way out of the ghetto, and you can do very well for yourself. So from the East End, you get a lot of boxers, you get a lot of car dealers, a lot of hustlers, a lot of gangs. You heard about the Cray twins. You know what I mean? So if you can fight in the ring, you can do well for yourself. You can fight your way out of the ghetto. And if you do fight your way out of the ghetto, why would you go back? Most people do end up going back. The law is the law of attraction, the law of money, the law of power. But those that are very smart get in and get out quickly, because ultimately they just use you like meat. So let's get the precepts. Ecclesiastes 12:10 says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." Yeah, we're hearing about the sanction fees as well. I believe that's another reason why he's retired. They want hundreds and hundreds of thousands of money, which they call it sanction fees. Things are coming out about this so-called WBO and Marissa Solomon, however you pronounce his name. I believe he's an Amalekite. A lot of them are Amalekites. Bob Arum's an Amalekite, right? So-called big-nosed people with the smile hats. They're behind boxing too, right? And there's a lot of, as we know, politics going on. A lot of siphoning of a whole lot of money. But it's coming out. That's the point. It's coming out. So this is the enemy, the Amalekites, who be in control of the political side of boxing. "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed of he, beware of him." So if you don't come back, I know they ain't going to be happy. They're going to be trying to throw money at you, and they're going to see what sticks, trying to get you to come back, maybe in exhibition fights. Now, Floyd Mayweather is being lured back to fight. If you've heard it, for those this is not a boxing video, but I'm just going to make the point, and the moral of the story is never trust thine enemy, and know who your friends are, know who your enemies are. As he said, we saw what happened to a lot of boxers in the past, right? But they're not there for you when you're down. They're there for you when you're up. As a matter of fact, when I read on, it's going to explain it. "Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. Thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away." Right. "Beware of him," I read that again. "Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him." In other words, know who your friends are, know who your enemies are, know who the devils are, know who's exploiting you, and who's using you for their personal gain. Yeah, in boxing terminology. and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not before thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Right? You're suffering with Parkinson's disease, or punch drunk, or all kinds of cognitive issues, brain issues, and he's going to the golf court and playing golf with the money that is extortioned out of you, while you're in hospital suffering from all kinds of cognitive issues, all different types of ailments. Because boxing takes its toll on the body, as he be mentioning in this video on the Rogan Show, and also the Pivot podcast. The Pivot podcast, which I done that video on. He's not coming back. He's not returning. Doesn't matter what you offer him, and he may do, he may not. But if he doesn't, he does himself. He does himself well. He's one of the few that escapes. If Terence Crawford does not come back to boxing, and uses the money wisely, invests it wisely. He's one of the few boxers that escapes from the political side of boxing with all his faculties intact. Very few of them have. Right? The more you get into the political side of boxing, you've got some that can't even speak. They have this slurred speech up to this day, as he said in the video, and they don't pay you no mind. They're just on to the next. So it's true. Set him not by thee, least when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Right? On the golf court with your money, playing golf, enjoying the fruits of your labour. Never let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be prickled therewith. It'll be too late then when you remember the words, when you're in a hospital suffering, right, with a straw in your mouth, can't even talk, being fed intravenously, or trying to eat your food with a straw because you've got brain damage. And we know the incident what happened to Michael Watson and Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank Sr. in the 90s, he actually gave Michael Watson brain damage. But these are the remnants of boxing, the side effects of boxing, or the downside of boxing. You can end up severely injured. So yeah, boxing, I admire it myself. I admire it. I admire the pugilism of it. I admire the science of boxing, the sweet science. But you gotta use your brains, as Andre Ward said. You gotta use your brains. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? Right? Who pitied Adrian Broner? That's what he actually said. Nobody does. But he himself is saying, I look out for him. As if he's his older brother, who looks out for them when you need them. And you don't get no retirement, nobody doesn't look out, make sure you get any retirement fund if just in case you become disabled. No one looks out for you. It's been said, if you retire or if you become disabled, there's no kind of funding, there's no programs for you. But each to their own. You're on your own. As he said, people walk past you, they're on to the next. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? And the reason why I'm doing this video is because what he be saying is scriptural, especially to Yashua Allah, the so-called black people, right? Especially Yashua Allah, but also you've got the northern tribes as well, especially the Judites and the ones with darker shades of black, so-called black people. And he said it. They expect you to shunk and jive. And it's mainly the black people that they expect to shunk and drive and act like the fool, throw money in the camera, say how many cars you've got, act like a ninja. And you can tell he doesn't like that side of it. And he be on point with that. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? I'm gonna read up down to 18, the whole of it. So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Right, 14. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. Right, because they haven't got no time for you. You can't fight anymore. What use would they have for you if you can't make money for them in the ring, at your own perils, at your own risk in your own life? Right? For while he will be abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. AKA Adrian Broner, AKA Michael Watson, AKA what's the other one? There's another one at the tip of my tongue. Larry Hearns, or Barry Hearn, if I'm saying the name right, the one that fought Sugar Ray Leonard. Larry Holmes, no, not Larry. Yeah, Larry Holmes. He had slurred speech too, and the other one that fought Sugar Ray Leonard. As a matter of fact, I want to see if I can get that one. I want to pull that up. The one that fought Sugar Ray Leonard twice. Let me ask, maybe chat. Maybe let me ask Google or chat. Who fought Sugar Ray Leonard twice? twice. Yeah, Thomas Hearns, that's it. Thomas Hearns. Now, even now, him can't talk properly. And I'm not even making mockery, but he can't talk properly, man. That's the remnants, the side effects of boxing. Yeah, Thomas Hearns. And he was very good, man. What was his name? What was Thomas Hearns' nickname? Let me ask again. What was Thomas Hearns' nickname? Thomas Hearns. What was Thomas Hearns' nickname? Let me see if it gives it to me here. Father developed Thomas Hearns' nickname. Let me see if it tells me. I think it might have been the body snatcher. Thomas. It might come to me. I think it might be something to do with the body snatcher. Hold on, let me ask. Let me make use of chat GPT. This is just for my own. Hello, chat. I'm just interested here. Hello, chat. Hi, chat.
Hey, great to have you here. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, can you tell me the great boxer Thomas Hearns' nickname?
Absolutely. Thomas Hearns is famously known as the Hitman. That nickname really captured his explosive punching power and his precision in the ring.
All right, this is not a boxing video, but just recapping on some history. Yeah, the Hitman. So, but now the point I'm making is he can't talk. You know, he be talking. He got slurred speech. Now, if you try and get a conversation out of him, you have to just pay attention and listen. But also what happened with the famous Muhammad Ali, right? They say he got Parkinson's. I believe they slipped him something in a drink. But let's get back to the scriptures because that's all right. Thank you. That's enough. Chat. Thank you for that.
Of course, no problem at all. If you need to shift gears or come back to something else, just let me know. I'm here whenever you're ready.
Yeah, the former boxer, Hitman Hearns, is now can't talk properly, slurred speech. But also Muhammad Ali, they say he got Parkinson's. He was a bit too braggadocious. They don't like a confident so-called Negro. They don't. That's why they're always asking Tyson to come back and do an exhibition fight. Mike Tyson, they're always asking you to come back. They're going to be offering you, Terence Crawford, if you come across this video, they're going to be throwing money at you. They want you to come back and take a L. Floyd Mayweather now has come back and he's took a L. Let me turn off ChatGPT because ChatGPT thinking I'm talking to him. Let me turn it off. Thank you, chat. Right. So, yeah, and they just want you to take an L. But yeah, that's just the negative side, the politics of boxing. Let me back to the scriptures. For while he abide with thee, and this is supposed to be a short one, just want to hit these precepts, and we've made the moral of the story. Boxing is a mug's game, and they just want to use you as meat. Something that Chris Eubank said when he entered the boxing game, and he left, and he didn't change his mind. Now you hear about Chris Eubank Senior and Chris Eubank Junior. He just came back and took an L because he didn't use his brains. Chris Eubank Senior, the son of Chris Eubank Senior, Chris Eubank Junior, has just come back and lost to Conor Benn because he was weight drained. Right? A lot of people will be saying that, but you know, if you don't use your head, they will exploit you and cast you off as meat. And on to the next. For while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. He ain't gonna have your back. 16 now of Ecclesiastes 12. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagine how to throw thee unto a pit. That's what I've been saying in so many words. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Right, man. Play your cards right. This devil is very circumspect. He's very subtle. Right? He's always waiting and looking for an opportunity to trample you while you're down. Right? It's going to say in the last two verses, it's going to explain it. 17 now of Ecclesiastes 12. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there. First, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Yeah, they wanted Floyd Mayweather to get his head smashed in by was it Jake Paul? One of them Paul brothers. One of them brothers. Logan Paul, I think it might have been Logan Paul. He wanted him to, everybody, well, I know that the shadow government for the most part wanted him to lose. But now he's losing anyway. He's losing out the ring now because a lot of people are coming out and saying he's broke. So they're going to get you one way or another. If you haven't got the protection of the Ruach HaKodesh, let me just say that. If you're not protected by the Ruach HaKodesh, some way, shape or form, we know what happened to Jack Johnson. They got him out the ring. Right, they introduced the so-called Man Act because he was getting the Edomite women. He was smashing up their men, Esau, in the ring, and then he was smashing the woman at the ring. Right, if you can pick sense of what I'm saying. And they got him in the end with the so-called Man Act. Right, they made it illegal for you to marry them white women and smash them and take them across the border. So you need to be protected. Bottom line, you need to be protected by the Ruach HaKodesh, or Satan gonna be on your case until he get thee. Yeah, so Lord willing, right, the elect, the hopeful elect, have the help of the Most High, which is the Comforter that he sent, that Yahushua said that he sent for his elect. The Comforter, which is the highest gift, which is the Holy Spirit, or the Ruach HaKodesh. So you need to be protected by the Spirit, man. Alright, they're going to keep coming and trying. They're going to keep coming just like they did with Yahushua, right? What you Christians call Jesus after he was baptized. Satan offered him the world, right? And I want to keep this video short and sweet. But we went into that on the other video when Terence Crawford rejected the fact that they would everything is for sale. And they tried it with Jesus. You Christians call him Jesus, and he also rejected, and he used the scriptures to reject Satan's offer, right? Power, he tempted him with power, he tempted him with hunger, because he thought he would get him at his weakest, right? He tempted him with a manipulation of the scriptures. But as Yahushua said, it is written, it is written, it is written. Man must live on bread alone, and every word that uttering through the power of the Most High, through the Ruach HaKodesh. So it's the Ruach HaKodesh, right, that protects us from these devils, right? So the best move you can make is to get under the Ruach HaKodesh, watch the videos, study, right, bit by bit, baby steps, right, and get the covering of the Ruach HaKodesh, which comes through Yahushua, right? You learn the names of both Yahushua and Yahweh. Yeah, Yahweh means he is. Yah means he. Yahweh means to be. Right? That's what you Christians call God. And Yahushua, you Christians call him Jesus, means he saves, he delivers. Right? If you want to be protected by the Ruach HaKodesh, and you have to be sincere about it all. But yeah, man. If adversary come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He's not your friend. Right? Self-explanatory. He's not your friend. Last one. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. Right? When he sees your downfall. He's not your friend. The devil's not your friend. So now, we're going to end off. Just turn over the page to put the icing on the cake. This devil's not your friend. So Ecclesiastes next page 13 and 4 says, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. And that's what you said. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. What happened to Adrian Broner? Thomas Hearns, Hitman Hearns, a lot of others, just to name a few. There's a lot of others. What's the other one? Whitaker, Sweet Pea Whitaker. He died in a car accident, and he was suffering. He had some vices that he was struggling with. Sweet Pea Whitaker. He was known for his defensive skills, his sweet science, and everybody liked him, including the users, the small hat people, right, with the big noses. They liked him too, right? He was for his profit, so they liked him. But after he went downhill, they forsook him, as we're reading. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. Sweet Pea Whitaker, another one that they made him bear. Right? And when he was deleted, you know what happens? A lot of the time, Floyd Mayweather was known to help with the funeral, help with the expenses with the funeral. Floyd Mayweather was known for doing that with a couple of boxers. I think he did the same with Emmanuel Stewart, another one that he admired as a boxer, Emmanuel Stewart, and he was known for his ability to do the drunken style. He said that was one of his hardest fights. Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Emmanuel Stewart, who done the drunken style, you can pull it up on YouTube. He said that was one of his hardest fights, and he didn't get the credit. He said his record never spoke for him, how good he was, Emmanuel Stewart. And I believe he was a Rubinite, man. Just everything about him. Unstable as water, and he was very unpredictable, and and a warrior too. And he went down fighting. But Floyd also helped with the funeral expenses as well, with him and some other fighters as well. Another fighter he helped with his funeral expenses was if it's gonna come to me. As a matter of fact, let me ask chat. Why not? Let me ask chat. Let me see. Hi chat.
Hey, I'm here. I'm listening. If you want to unpack any of that or just shift focus, I'm ready. Just let me know what you need.
Yeah, can you tell me how many boxers did Floyd Mayweather help with the funeral expenses when they died?
I couldn't find a specific total number of boxers Floyd Mayweather's helped with funeral expenses. However, it's known that he covered the funeral costs for former opponent Gennaro Hernandez in 2011, and there are reports he also helped with Joe Frazier's funeral. So let's listen.
All right. I got you on that one. That was a deep one for you. All right, thanks, chat.
Yeah, that was a bit of a deep dive. I'm glad I could help. If anything else pops up or you want to chat about something else, just let me know.
All right. So, yep. So what did he say? I got him on this one. The funeral expenses of, he said, Joe Frazier funeral and Joreno Hernandez. But I know something that chat don't know. He also helped with Emmanuel Stewart, funeral expenses, and there was another one. But anyway, that's the point. Floyd Mayweather has helped with funeral expenses. However, it's not known he covered the funeral costs for former opponent Junior Hernandez. It's known that he has covered the funeral costs for former opponent Junior Hernandez and Joe Frazier, and there's others too. It's interesting because chat don't know that, right? Chat, you need to know, because he's done a lot of what they put him as the bad guy, and he'd be throwing money away and he'd be gambling, but he's actually given money away to a lot of other people too. Hence, probably why he's broke today. You know, as far as helping them in certain circumstances. So that's the point there. Chat, I got you. There's certain things you don't know. See, Jake, so-called Judah, don't get no respect, man. Chat doesn't even know the good that Floyd Mayweather has done. Chat GBT doesn't even know all the good that Yashua Allah has done. And I'm gonna, in a future video, I'm gonna ask them how much times have let me get back on track. But let me get back on track. Right, so let's read. Ecclesiastes 13:5 says, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bare, and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee. Right? You see that? That's typical. That's typical in boxing. And ask the boxers. Ask them about what do they call that? Mauricio Suleiman. They want they want to charge them sanction fees. Ask the boxers if there was a what you call a survey on how many boxers are not happy with their sanction fees. 99%, 9 of them will say, no, we're not happy, but they have to play the game. Right? They have to play the game. And a lot of them play the game and keep their mouths shut. But there's been few that's came out, like Terence Bud Crawford has came out and said, no, he ain't paying it. And the last one that's done that is Shakur Stevenson, who just beat Teofimo Lopez in the last fight. And he says he's not paying. Shakur Stevenson said, nah, he ain't paying that kind of money. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So they're not happy. So they're being deceived and they're being used, right? This is typical of boxing. It's politics or politics in boxing. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. That's what he be saying. Mauricio Suleiman be saying, yeah, we're very transparent. No, you're not. You're fraud, you know. Yeah? But put thee in hope. He will speak their fear and say, what wanteth thou? Right? He put up a front. I'll read that again. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair, right? Subtle, right? Put up a front and say, what wanteth thou? Yeah, do you need anything? Right? And he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry. Thrice, twice or thrice. This devil can never have enough, as it says in Habakkuk, chapters 2. Right? He is as deaf, he can never have enough. And that goes for land, that goes for food, that goes for money, that goes for everything. They're greedy, so that you can understand. And at the last he will laugh thee to scorn. Afterward, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. That's what they were doing at Andre AB, Adrian Broner. They'd be laughing at him now. Now he's like making a fool of himself, but that's because he's lost his mind. He's damn bad. Adrian Broner's damn bad, and they didn't like the fact that he was speaking too much. You know, he playing the bad guy, and he lost. He lost to that. As a matter of fact, I'll make use of you, chat, one more time. Hi, chat.
Hey, I'm right here. What's up? If there's anything you'd like to discuss or dive into, I'm all ears.
Give me the names of the fights that Adrian Broner lost.
Adrian Broner has 5 professional losses on his record. He lost to Marcos Maidana in December 2013 by unanimous decision, to Sean Porter in June 2015, to Mikey Garcia in July 2017, to Manny Pacquiao in January 2019, and most recently to Blair Cobbs in June 2024.
Right.
All of his losses came by decision, never by knockout.
Thank you, chat. Yeah, Marcus Maidana. That is the one that was a Northern Tribe dude that I was trying to remember. And when he lost to him, because he was too confident, some say arrogant, he lost to him, they booed him out the ring and they was throwing cans at him. But that's what you get. That's what you get, right? There's a thin line between arrogance and confidence. But Marcus Maidana, that was December 2013. He was overconfident, but he lost to it was a Northern Tribe. And yeah, the racism was shown at that fight. The racism was shown, even though he's a brother, he's a so-called Jake. Right, goes back to the seed of Jacob, but the racism and the hatred for Judah was shown after he lost in that fight. Right, they humiliated him, and ever since then, all the other losses he's taken, he's not been the same. He's damn bad, and that's what the point of this video is, that they use you and use you up. All right, and they're on to the next, as the interview be saying, as Terence Bud Crawford be saying. Use you up, and then they're on to the next, which is something to the effect of the title of this video. Never trust thine enemy. Yep. So that 2 more, and then we're going to end it off. Sirach 13:7 now. And he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry. Twice, thrice, because this devil never has enough. At the last he will laugh thee to scorn. Afterward, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. Yeah, laugh thee to scorn, right? You can't talk no more. You're punch drunk and you know no money. Him there is there laughing. Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. Beware of thee. Yeah, beware of the enemy. And I believe Terence Crawford, he knows who are the devil. Terence Crawford knows who are the devil. And get out while you can, while you got your faculties all intact. Right? There's only a few, if only a few has done that in the boxing game. The game of politics. So, Lord willing, was edifying to the sincere Akim out there. You know what I mean? Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Terence Crawford is waking up to these devils. Maybe he's always been cognitive with these devils. Right? Very shrewd guy. And we know that he's shrewd because of how the way he fights. Right? We know he's shrewd because of how he fights in the ring. And yes, life is a boxing match. Right? Life is a boxing match, and only the strong survive. Until the next one, we out.